I got a download for a high heart meditation that I wanted to share with you. So, your high heart, just above your heart chakra, it's one of those secondary chakras that we don't hear about very often. And a great way to start this meditation is either circling or tapping that spot. And then focus on what color love would be for you. So maybe it's a rich pink, or maybe it's a cherry red, or maybe it's red like my jacket. And just imagine that color, maybe give it a texture or a shape. Just see it coming alive underneath your hand. And let me talk you through the download that I got. So, often the high heart is associated with Christ consciousness. And, one of the things that I find so interesting is that mainstream Christianity seems to have completely forgotten what a rebel badass Jesus was, right? There's that story about him with the woman at the well. And she's a Samaritan, which is a culture that's completely looked down on by mainstream culture in his time. And you think about in a desert community, the well was the center of town, right? So everybody's checking out who's doing what, who's talking to whom. And you can just imagine the people in power or who thought they were pretty amazing going, oh, who's he talking to? And she's giving him what he's drinking water that she has drawn. But Jesus didn't care, right? He couldn't care less. Everybody was equal in his eyes. In fact, he actually kind of liked the people who were lower on the social stratosphere than some of the mucky mucks, right? And so it makes me think, how can we have that kind of acceptance and allowance and openness for all the parts of ourselves? What if, for example, we had conversations with the parts of ourselves, yeah, even the ones we weren't crazy about, right? What if I talked to the young toddler that lives inside of me that doesn't ever feel like it gets enough love and gets seen and valued? And what if I gave that little kid more so that when, something happens in a relationship, I don't have an immediate reaction, right? Or what about the part of me that's a rebel and sometimes gets me into trouble? What if I understood her enough that I could let her ride shotgun in times when I need to say no or stand up for myself? All these parts of ourselves were developed for a reason. And so when we are able to get curious about them and allow them, find out what they need, find out how they're protecting us, then they can actually become a bit of a superpower for us. I hope this has been helpful to you. Thank you for joining me for this high heart meditation.